Okay, so here we are. Good day, folks. Majestic sounds of coins, levels of madness. Sing J, Les Wiley, Jeff Dunn. Who else is in here? Raymond Longy. I'll have to catch up on the chat in just a little while. I'm going to go ahead and get these counted out. Now here's our chip right here for the wrapper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 30, 32, 34, 35, 37, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 51. Wonderful. Well, I figure out what I did here. Either I counted them wrong or I made them wrong. So, do what I've had to do in the past. Well, this roll sale last week just kicked my butt. I've been trying to catch up ever since, and I've been literally running, trying to catch things up. I missed the postman trying to deliver a package by 45 seconds a minute. He was driving down the road. So I go outside and I'm flat out running, trying to catch the post guy. Got away from me. I know what he's got. And I confirmed it when I found a little sticky on my door with the sender's name on it. I knew exactly what he had. And I really, really wanted to get it off that truck. So I considered the possibility of postponing this stream. This was just like 15 minutes ago. I thought about postponing the stream so I could drive after him and try to catch him. That didn't work. I decided, nah, it's not worth that much to me. What he had to deliver to me was a box, or 2 boxes actually, containing almost 200 rolls of proof Lincoln cents. So I will have those tomorrow at the latest. All right, let me get my sheet here. Paula Bloom, hi there. Okay, let me see what I have going on incorrectly here, because I know I have something going on incorrectly. Let me check on these, and I will be right back to the chat. Now you can hear me, I can hear you, or I can't hear you, but I can see what I'm doing here. Deanne bought 4 spots and I wrote 5. There's my problem right there. Deanne bought 4 spots. There's those 4. James Dowdle got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeff Dunn got 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe McBride got 1, 2, 3, 4. Levels of Madness got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Midnight Silver Run should have 3. 1, 2, 3. There's his 3. What's Vicky doing down there? Vicky should be here. Let's see. That was Levels of Madness, Midnight Silver Run. Paul Hampton got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Robert Adams should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sissy Atwell should have 1, 2. Todd Carmen should have 1, 2, 3. Vicky should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And does. And Wild Bill should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was my problem. Deanne got an extra spot inadvertently. So we now have 50 chips. And we have 1 bag, which is empty. 50 chips go into 1 bag. 1 extra for the wrapper. Let me get this Deanne one out of the way so I can be sure I don't get messed up. Now, I only had a chance to stuff a few of my flip inserts, so I'm going to have to be stuffing flip inserts as we go along here. And let me put this down right here. So I've got a border around my name. And here's my roll. This is a very interesting, it's a tightly wrapped roll, and they're not usually so tight for 1960. Now, the reason I really want to get this roll open is in the hopes And I certainly do hope that there are 50 Gem BU 1960p small date coins in here. I have no idea because it just says 1960p on the outside of the wrapper, and there's tails on both ends. So that's one of the things I was really hoping for with this roll. So let me see what I can do about getting this open with my thumbnails. There's one end. Kind of flick the roll. See, the crimper actually rolls the paper up underneath itself for those who haven't opened one of these before. So you can pull outward on that roll and it will eventually give way and allow you to peel it open. And then you just go around the roll, continually pulling out on that little flange of paper until it comes out flat. So it comes out flat like this, and now the roll will just unroll. This is the Hanover Bank 50 pennies. I'm going to open it this way because that's the way I always open the rolls. And I will be very excited to see what's inside. I'm expecting large dates because I am a realist, but I am optimistically hoping for small dates. Who knows what's in here? The first coin is a large date. So, we have double die obverses, we have double die reverses, we have a number of things to hope for here, and Levels of Madness will start us off with the first coin in the roll. And we have a 1960 large date cent. It's in really nice condition. Full bright red coin. No spots, few marks here and there, but no spots. Now there are a couple of really nice double die reverses that I would be hoping for here. Okay, so we can see that that one has really strong marker. It's got some really heavy die scratches between the 1 and the 9 of the date. So we can use that as our marker for this die just in case it happens to be paired with a double die reverse. Let's see what's on the reverse. And we have, it looks like a normal coin so far. Yeah, we have a normal coin. Okay, we've got a bunch of die scratches running through the ENT of cent. See if we've got anything else that's really heavy for a good marker that I can say, okay, well, that's the same die we've already seen. Let's see here. That looks like a heavy die scratch under the T of United. It is. Okay, so we've got a heavy die scratch under the T of United that we can use as a good marker for this one. Let me go back to the live stream. I've got the window open and there's a jet going by. I live in the flight path of the Raleigh-Durham Airport. Let me go back and count and go read. Okay, so this first coin for Levels of Madness, we're done with that one. So we're done with the first coin in the roll. And the roll ender was a very nice condition coin. However, it had no toning on it. So that means that these were always stored in a very dry environment, which means that most of the coins in the roll should be spot free. All right, let me catch up on the chat because I don't want to ignore people. So give me just a couple of seconds here to catch up. Oh yeah, that mint order thing. Yeah, I tried that. And I didn't even get through. I mean, I didn't even get through to the catalog. I didn't get to the point where I could even try to order at all. 500 for what gorgeous piece of history? Are you talking about that roll? Let's see. 20 minutes and sold out, huh? Is that how long it took? That's surprising. Will I take 5 for your girlfriend? 5 what? What am I looking at here? Sing J, hello. Getting caught up here. Hang on. Andrew O'Neill, hello. Brian Weidel. Okay, so we've got... Wow, you guys are chatty today. I'm still working on getting caught up here. I read pretty fast, too. Mr. McBride, hello. All the chit-chat about the new ASEs. I don't think anybody even heard me say that I was actually running chasing after the postman and did not catch him. Because nobody said anything. Okay, so I'm caught up with the chat and we're all talking about the new Silver Eagle stuff, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. That's today's news. All right, coin number 2. We'll go to Wild Bill. Coin number 2 to Wild Bill. Let's see what we've got on coin number 2. Wow, that's clean. Holy moly. A little minor spotting issue here. I'm going to see if maybe there's some chance I might have a minor double die going on here. All the letters in God We Trust look a little bit extra thick. I'm trying to look for something that actually shows me, yes, this is a double die, but I haven't seen it yet. I don't see it in the ST of trust, but I do see it in the TR. Looks a little thicker than it should be. Get this turned around the other direction here to see if I can see any separation. Yeah. Well, I'm not seeing anything, but it sure looks odd. Looks just a little different than it should be. Let's see. What do we have for a good marker on this one? I did see something a little bit earlier. Oh, there it is. We have a die crack running through the hair, the ear, up through the W. It's a spiked head. Goes up next to the E of we. So this is a spiked head. And let's take a look at the reverse and see what we get on the reverse. Nice die scratch on top of the M of America. You can use that as a marker for the reverse on this one. Got an angled die scratch running through the designer's initials. Coin Dragon. Coin Captain. Okay, so Wild Bill gets a, this could be maybe something. Let me take a look with my loop. Oop, I dropped my loop. Hang on just a second. Up here in my captain's chair, I usually have everything available to me all at once. Yeah, upon further review of the coin itself, it appears as though we have a normal 1960 large date Lincoln cent here. So that's coin number 2. Coin number 3 will belong to, wait a minute. I got Wild Bill's name in here. How's that coin now belongs to Wild Bill? Let me draw for coin number 3. Midnight Silver Run. Let's see. Oh, I've already got coin number 3 up there. I'm getting ahead of myself and behind myself all at the same time. Got a couple more spots on this one than we had on the last coin. This is planchet wash spotting here, though. This is what happens when the planchets get washed. So we have a lot of southeast die scratches in the right half of the obverse. So that's a good marker for that die. Volume seems low today. Okay, let me do this. How's that? A little bit better? Hang on. Let me get this thing scrappled around to where it belongs. Okay. All right, so there we go. That should be better. Now let's look at the reverse of this one. Oh, do we maybe have something minor going on here? Let's take a look at the N of 1. Look at that tail end there and see if there's anything on there. Looks I'm looking at something that could be a minor double die here. Looks like it. Yeah, I think I'm seeing a minor double die. Let's go on around and take a look at the tops of the letters in United. That'll help us a little bit. Okay, I'm not seeing it there. But they don't always go all the way around. Let's go over and look at the designer's initials real quick. Yeah, see, I can see something there in the designer's initials. They are too thick. Yep, definitely a double die. So we have a minor double die going on over here. I think I noticed it in that end as well. Let me turn this around and get the light hitting it just right so we can see it. Gosh, this scope. You see, I think I'm seeing a minor double die here. I'm going to have to go back and look at it again, but I do believe I'm seeing hub doubling here, especially there in that N. But the designer's initials definitely look extra thick. And what about the bottom of the A? Sometimes you'll see the doubling here in the last serif of the A. Let me get back over to it. I can see what looks like a little bit of doubling running up the side of the A. And here at the bottom of the C, you can see a little extra step there. Okay, I think I'm looking at a minor double die here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to back out on this and try to look at it one more time like this. You see how that bottom right corner of the A is a little soft? It doesn't look like a sharp angle. And then the FG looks like it's stretched out to the rim just a little bit. And then the bottom of this N in cent, the bottom meaning toward the rim, looks a little shaved off. And here at the bottom of this end, you can actually see what looks like. Turn it this way. See what looks like a split in the serif toward the rim there. So let's get a couple of good markers off of this one. What was the obverse? Okay, this is the one that has the die scratches running to the southeast throughout the obverse. And it's got those two heavy die scratches. It's almost like a Chinese character right out in front of the beard. So we've got those. Heavy die scratch above the E of Liberty. Okay, so we've got this die marked. I do believe we do have a minor double die going on here, but I will have to take a better look at it later. But I think that's a minor double die reverse. All right, Midnight, I'm going to set your coin off to the side because I think it's something somewhat special anyway. Yep, be a class 2 double die. That's correct. There are a lot of bright coins in this roll, and they're going to be very reflective. Next one belongs to Midnight as well. How'd you guys like what I did yesterday with regard to keeping some spots back and giving them out for free? How'd you like that? Give me some feedback. Okay, we've seen this die before. You can remember this one because it has the heavy die scratches between the 1 and 9 of date. And it is the one that I said could have been a possible double die obverse, but I'm not seeing enough. Not seeing enough to call the shot on this. And I looked at it up close, and I thought, yeah, I just don't think so. Okay, we've got nothing on the reverse on this one that I can see. The specific points that I'm looking for, very, very specifically, and I do this with every one of the 1960s reverses. I look at the top of the F for any. What I'm looking for is that extra separation toward the rim, and slight. There will usually be very slight little notches on either side of the letter going toward the rim. I don't see it there. I usually look for it on the top of the E and the R and the I, and I don't see it there. And then the A, I look at the bottom right corner of the A for a split or for softness, showing me that there's going to be an extra separation there. Then I look carefully at the FG, and in this particular case, it just looks like a mess. And that's just because it's a later die state coin. And then I look at the bottoms of all of the letters going across 1 cent, especially the left leg of the N in 1. For some reason, they tend to show up better there than anywhere else, is that left leg of the N in 1. And then I come across and I look at the UNI and United to see if I can see anything there. And typically, if it's going to show up in the UNI of United, it's also going to show up at the bottom of the N. So there you go. And let's see. I will check the statue just to see, but there's nothing known for this entire decade in the center of the reverse. That doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means there's nothing known. There's your heavy die scratch underneath the T of United, meaning that we have seen this die before. Okay, so Midnight gets this one. Oops, that's coin number 4. These are some exceptionally clean coins, people. These things are nice gems. Like it, like it. Okay, I'm going to fold this one over because I know this one is a normal coin. I don't have to recheck it. Go on to the next one. And the next one is Robert Adams. I think it was Midnight that got the hat trick. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. There's another 1960 large date. So we're pretty much with the idea that this is all a large date roll, which that's kind of what we expected, but man, we could really hope, right? Okay, I don't think I've seen this die before. It's got a lot of heavy north and south die scratches throughout the obverse. And it's got some going diagonally out of the O, or the 0 of the date. So we can use that as our marker for this die because, well, that's not going to happen commonly. And there's a hair on the, or a little fiber from the paper on the rim there. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on this. We should be looking for doubled eyelids as well. So I'll be looking for doubled eyelids, and then I'll look again when we get finished with the roll and go back. This looks almost like a roll ender. Some of these coins may have accidentally got flipped over when I opened the roll, because this one appears to be the roll ender. Okay, well, there's nothing on it, but confirmed. This was the roll ender, so I guess the first 3 or 4 coins got flipped over when I opened the roll. Well, doesn't matter much. Robert Adams gets this one. Oops. Flip you back down into the flip there. Okay, so coin number 6. Coin number 6, Sissy Atwell. Sissy Atwell gets coin number 6. Let's take a look at what's on coin number 6. Very clean looking obverse as far as scratches are concerned. I have a few little marks and spots here and there. A few more little marks and spots. Got nothing going on the obverse. I mean, literally nothing. We have some old die scratches running north and south under the G of God. Some more old die scratches behind the head. That'll mark that one. There's a heavy die scratch as it appears. Let me see if I can get this turned around so I can see it better. It looked like there might be a heavy die scratch under the 0, but I don't see it now. Okay, some die scratches out in front of the chin. Okay, let's take a look at the reverse and see what we've got on the reverse. I got nothing. Nothing. Well, that's one that's got some very difficult die markers, that's for sure. Difficult die markers and nothing to write home about on that one. Is my volume better, everybody? You hear me better? I don't talk very loud, so sometimes it's a little difficult to hear. Next coin number 7 will belong to Todd Carmen. Todd Carmen. Let's see what we get in this one. Okay, there's another example of that same die with the die scratches leading diagonally out of the 0 of the date. Let's take a look and go up around. Got nothing on that side. And basically what we're doing is confirming what we've seen before. Let me try to get the lighting about right here. And looks like, yep, there's definitely a large feeder finger scrape on the die above the A of America. See that whole large dark patch there? That's where the level of the field is actually raised a little bit because you took metal away from the die. So the coin is going to be struck up a little bit more. And that metal that came off the die, see that real bright line showing up right there? That means that the feeder finger came across and scraped the die. Essentially cut just a little thin layer of the metal away from the die. That's what that is. A die scratch between the E and the C of cent, 1 cent. And we have otherwise a normal coin. A braiding 101. That's right. Here's Silga last night. Coin Dragon, did you do well? I ended up clobbering out, man. I went to sleep. I didn't even turn my camera off last night. Camera, lights, the heater, everything was on up here, and I crashed. Not bad. Good. Deanne gets the next one. Deanne gets coin number 8 in this roll. Let's see what coin 8 brings us. Nice heavy die dot right next to the 6 and the date there. Is this the, no, it's not the same one. This is not the Chinese character one. This is what appears to be yet a different die. Some colors on this one. Okay, so there's a huge die scratch running north out of the L of Liberty. We have not seen this die yet. Check for a doubled eyelid. No doubled eyelid. Nothing in the throat. Nothing in the date. Let me move over to the reverse. Let's see what we can find on the reverse. Have a rather late dice date coin. Checking all those points that I was telling you about a little bit earlier. And I'm not seeing anything of note on the reverse side of this coin. I do see some colors and some other odd marks. This is one of those coins you'd rather not talk about. Alright, so Deanne, it's a nice bright coin, but it's got a lot of little marks on the reverse side. So there's one for Deanne. Next coin. Coin number 9 will go to Paul Hampton. Alright, Paul Hampton. I really hope for a double die in this, because I really like the double dies that come out of 1960. Okay, this is another one of those. So we can speed the process up just by a little bit by the fact that we've already seen this die. So we're going to go and look at it real quickly for any errors or other markings or anything. We've already kind of checked this one out real closely. This is the one that has the die scrape above the A of America. Go check it out and see if we can see any specific error issues. Struck throughs, laminations, broken planchets, anything like that. And nothing there, so Paul Hampton's coin was in and out in just a few seconds. Oh, let's see what's next. Mr. Dowdle. Mr. Dowdle gets coin number 10. And coin number 10 has on it... Okay, I think we have seen this die as well. Or maybe not. I don't remember it. Oh yeah, here we go. The north and south die scratches, the old die scratches below the G of God that run on down to the back of the head. We have seen this die. We have seen this die. Ah, there's a better marker. There's a die scratch on the vest pointing to the 9 of the date. That's a nice marker. We can use that. All right, what do we got on the reverse? Colors. There's some interesting colors on this coin. It's a big die scratch going from the E all the way from just right of the E all the way up to the base of the memorial. We can use that too to determine that other coins belong to this same die, which appears to be a very normal die. All right. I can see the colors on this coin when you pull it back and look at it. So little pinks and other colors. It's very nice. Very nicely toned coin. Tona. I tell you, it's a Tona. Stop with the main accent. All right. Next, Wild Bill. Let's see what Wild Bill gets. I tell you guys that, and for anyone who's new in here, once in a while when I do these roll reveals, I tell you that, well, I got a surprise. And, well, this time, I got a surprise. For everyone who bought spots in this particular roll, I will be doing a special roll opening and roll reveal on Friday. And we will open a roll that is yet to be determined that I am sure you are going to enjoy. I will do that Friday, and I'm thinking 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Unless everybody can give me a really good reason why I shouldn't do it at 1 p.m., and then we could probably move it to another time. But 1 p.m. is just kind of time out of my hat that I just happened to pull. Looks like a struck through of some sort right there on the rim. Does anybody want to give me any input as to what time they would like to see this special roll open where you're going to get a coin for free for every one you purchased in this roll? I can tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to open up another roll of 1960 Philadelphia. We're going to see if we can come up with double dies this time, because it doesn't look like this particular roll is going to produce much for us. Regardless of how much we whine and complain, it doesn't change what's in the roll. Yeah, look at those die cracks. 1, 2, 3. The whole head's about to split open. We've got a beautiful, clean coin here. This thing's very few spots. Those are abrasions from the they're marks on the die itself. It's something spilled on the die itself. They're not marks on the coin. Now, these little tiny scratches, they are marks on the coin, but you can't see those with the naked eye. This one's going to turn out to be a beautiful coin. I didn't even look at it before I stuck it under the scope. I just stuck it under there and got going. A little die crack coming off the top of the right side of the building, going into the R of America. We have a heavy die mark under the T of cent there. God, we have die cracks on the E. We have die crack on the C of cent. Heavy die mark out of the N of cent. There's a small die crack running off the left base. What do we have on the right base? Yep, small die crack there too. And that one goes almost all the way to the rim. So this thing's just loaded with markers. Markers, cracks, scratches, all kinds of stuff. And I tell you what, from looking at the condition of the coin, it appears to be this one should get a 66 grade. Yeah, it's a nice coin. That's Jeff Dunn right there. Coin number 12. Mr. Dunn. Beautiful coin right there. All right, coin number 13. Coin number 13 will go to Mr. Hampton. Wow, these coins are gems. They're beautiful. Nice. Glad at least I got a good roll. I see all these little tiny spots like this. They'll affect your grade above 65. But to a 65, this is... Jeez, this is a really nice coin. You back up and you take a look at it without 1,000 times magnification, and it's really nice. Nutty nice. This is another one of those. We've seen this die because it's got that die scratch running from the E all the way up. So we've seen this die before, but this is a beautiful coin. It's really nice for grade. Appears to have one spot below the memorial. Nothing on the obverse that I can see right off. Very nice. Okay, Paul Hampton, you got coin number 13, and coin number 13 has a beauty. Beautiful. Mr. Hampton for coin number 13. Now, coin number 14 will belong to Robert Adams. Robert Adams. Let's see what's on coin number 14 here. Still looking for hub doubling around the obverse. I haven't given up on the idea yet that there could be double dies in this roll. We've seen this die. This one's got the big die scratch running up out of the L of Liberty. Let's say that there's also some die scratches below the 9 of the date. This may be the one that has the heavy die scratches between the 1 and the 9. Oh. Sorry about that, Sing J. How about if I change that real quick? I'm not exactly sure how or why I don't get these changed where and when I should. But how's that? 1960 Philadelphia bank wrapped roll. This is reveal number 25. Reveal number 25. And Robert Adams coin. Let's see, there's a die crack running off the top of the cornice there. I'm not seeing anything that slaps me in the face and says, hey, you've seen this die before. But I'm also seeing nothing on it. Well, it's about time to hit one of those double die reverses again so that I'll have a compadre with the other coin. And Robert Adams gets coin number 14. Coin number 14. Robert Adams. All right, here we go. Coin number 15. Hello, Bigfoot. And Brian's World. Todd Carmen. Todd Carmen. Coin number 15. Let's see what we got here. This is the one that has a lot of southeast die scratches running through the obverse. And I do believe this is the one that was paired with what I thought was a double die reverse. So I'm excited to get it flipped over and take a look and see if I see anything on this side. I'll look at the initials first. Maybe it's not, because there's nothing on this one. Look at those die dots below the E. That was a little bit of rust on the die, it appears. Okay, folks, I can't seem to escape the idea that we could have some doubling on the top of United here. So let me go take a good close look at it. Yeah. Let's see here. No, that appears to be a reflection. That appears to be a reflection off of... I'll know here in just a second. And get that D turned around so that I can see. Yeah, that's just a reflection off of the inside rim. You can see how there's a light spot right on the rim above the D. That's just light reflecting back and forth off the D. There is above the states, S, T. You can barely see a little dot there above the A. So that's all that is. Sorry. Just a reflection. Just a happy little reflection lives right over here. I gotta get my Bob Ross t-shirt back out. Okay. Let's see. I'm seeing nothing on that one, so we're going to move on to the next coin. Todd gets coin number 15. Todd Carmen. Let's look at the obverse of this double die, or presumed double die, and see what markers we see on here, because I cannot remember what markers I said I was going to look for on this. Okay, now I get it. We've got some heavy die scratches. This is the one with the Chinese character looking thing in front of the mouth. Die scratches running in multiple directions that draw what looks like a little Chinese character. So there we go. That's what this one was. That's the double die. That's the one I think is a double die. Let's see. We got our numbers out of order here. 21, 22, 16, 20, 21, 22. Don't pay any attention to me. And we'll draw for coin number 16. Coin number 16 belongs to Wild Bill. Wild Bill gets coin number 16. Let's see what's on coin number 16. Looking for our little Chinese characters again. The last time I pulled a coin for Wild Bill, it appeared to have a little bit of a double die obverse. And this one appears that it could as well. It's just extra thick on the Ngabwe Trust. I'll take a better look at it later. I will be looking at all of the coins in this roll again. I go through the entire roll at least twice to make sure that I don't miss anything. I'm looking at the reverse here. Okay, I know I've seen this die because we have the diagonal die scratch running through the FG. I have seen this before. I'm not sure what I used as a marker on the reverse for this particular one, but I know I've seen that die scratch. Okay. That's Wild Bill's next coin. Number 16. And coin number 17 will belong to Mr. Dowdle. Let's take a look at Mr. Dowdle's coin. You see some ghosting running out to the outside edge there. That's basically the same thing as the 1955 Poor Man's double die. It's not really a double die, it's just dieware. Simple dieware. Now see, I've seen this. We got this die scratch running right in front of the lips. I've seen this one today. So, I have an exceptionally clean looking coin. This has got the die scratch running above the L of Liberty again. Flip it over and look at the reverse. This is the one that's got a lot of strong die scratches running in a number of different directions. And I see, oh, there's a little oddity right there. That's struck through something right on the rim. And it looks like it's the same shape and size as that other coin that I found with something struck through right at the rim. Well, that's interesting. And let's see, what do we have here? That's damage. Just a little bit of coin damage. Alright, and that's all we've got on that one. Well, other than some really nice grade coins here, we're running into not much. Coin number 17 belongs to Mr. Dowdle. Coin number 18. 1818. Hello, Jeff Dunn. Joe McBride. Joe McBride's coin is... got a few marks on it. It's got a lot of die scratches. A lot of die scratches everywhere. It's got a few spots here and there too. Let's see. Nothing on the reverse either. That's it for that. Normal coin, coin number 18. We will be back at 5 p.m. today, Eastern Time, to do a 1960D roll. 1960D is an exciting issue for Repunch Mint Marks. Has a few double dies. Paul Hampton gets the next one. Paul Hampton, coin number 19. Okay, what do we have here? A coin with a few marks on it. A few stains here and there. But no hub doubling, do I see. I flip over and take a look at the other side. There's that die scratch. So we know this die. We know it to be a normal die. Let's look around for any specific markers. Anything like lamination, struck through dropped layers would be really cool. Alright, so that's coin number 19 for Paul Hampton. Coin number 20 would belong to Mr. Dowdle. James Dowdle. This coin is for you. Now let's see. A couple of little die scratches down inside the throat area. We got a big curved die scratch coming up out of the 6 of the date there. It's old though. There's a real heavy die scratch out of the back of the head. Not seeing anything on this side. Let's take a look at the other side and see what happens. This side appears to have a cleaner die than the other side, so it appears that the die is actually younger on this side than it is on the obverse, which means that the reverse die was probably changed at some point with this particular obverse, which doesn't make any difference to most collectors simply because there's nothing on this coin to make it a premium coin to study that I could see. There's Mr. Dowdle's coin number 20. Coin number 21 will belong to Vicky Cardwell. Vicky Cardwell gets there's a bunch of big old curved die scratches going on there. Let's see. Does this have... This could be our Chinese character coin here. No. Wow, look at those die scratches. Gosh. This looks like someone took an excavator to this. Heavy die crack running across the top of the head. This could be a new die for us. Let's see what we have on the reverse. It got nothing here. I can see. Okay. So that was a normal one. You guys are going to be surprised at how clean these coins look when you're not looking at them with a 500x electron microscope here. They appear to be really nice. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get the number in this one. Flatten this thing back out. I usually get these in the flips before I start the show because it takes up extra time to do this. But today, I did not get that part done. Let me get a few more of these in here now. There's 22. These are brand new flips. I just got them in yesterday. 23, 24. I have 8,000 flips coming in this week because I ran out, and that's never going to happen again. So this house will never be without flips again. See how tough these things can be? 28, 29, 30, gosh, sometimes they're just really hard to get shoved in a hole. 31, 32, okay, let's stop for that right now and go back and do coin number 22. Coin number 22 is Mr. Dunn. Mr. Dunn will get this coin. What did you get, Mr. Dunn? We got a 1960 Lincoln cent here. But what's on it? Oh, that's a spiked head there. You can see the little spiked head with the die crack around all the way down. So this is going to be one of our normal dies. Other than, of course, that it has a big headache. No hub doubling that I can see. A lot of die wear going on there. Excessive die wear. All right, Mr. Dunn. Next coin. Coin number 23 will go to Mr. Dowdle. Mr. Dowdle. Oh, we've seen this die before. It's got those heavy die scratches between the 1 and 9 of the date. This one will turn out to be a normal one. Ooh, that's a big struck through right there. That's a big, like a crater, like a pit in the coin. And you can tell it's a struck through simply because, well, there's no raised metal around that sink of metal. That's kind of cool. Very cool. Nice little struck through on your coin right there. That's one I can see just looking at the coin. Once I know what I'm looking for, I can see it with ease. So that's Mr. Dowdle. Got a thing where I'm working on a guy right now in the local area to go purchase a bunch of bank wrapped rolls from him. We'll see how that works. Mr. Hampton. Paul Hampton gets coin number 24. Oh, look at the colors. Nice colors. Nice luster on this one. That's the one with the multiple die cracks running through the head. We've seen this die before. A lot of multiple colors. See how this side looks so, I don't know, almost goldish red? And then this side looks much more pinkish. Real nice. And see how the luster just really flashes? Really, really nice coin. Let's get it flipped over and see what the reverse has for us. There's a number of heavy die scratches, but nothing outside the ordinary as far as varieties are concerned. Really cute looking coin there. Really cute. Man, there's a lot of really, really nice coins in this roll. These are coins I'd be selling for $2 to $3 a piece, just because they're pretty. So you guys got a deal on this one. Coin number 25 goes to Deanne. Right before the middle of the roll. And we've got another one with the heavy die scratches between the 1 and the 9 of the date. This is another normal die. Another marker to match up with that one. There's a die scratch running north out of the ER of Liberty. Flip it over and see what happens. Well, it looks different on this side. It doesn't have Mr. Lincoln on it. Oh, there he is. All right. Normal coin. Beautiful condition. Wow. Deanne. Coin number 26. Mr. McBride. Coin number 26 will go to Mr. McBride. What do we have for Mr. McBride? Oh. I keep looking for those little die scratches, little Chinese character die scratches out in front of the chin. Having not seen that, I'm not expecting much out of the reverse. And I get what I expect. It's a good old Rolling Stones song. Can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you get what you need. All right, folks. Here we go. Coin number 27 in the roll will go to Mr. Dowdle. Mr. Dowdle gets coin number 27. A bit of flattening going on at the top of the 6 and 0 there. This one is the one that has the die scratch running north and south in front of the lips. We've seen this die before. Flip it over and take a quick look at the reverse to see if we have anything that is error associated. Nothing I see which is error associated. That's a Mr. Dowdle coin there. Coin number 28 goes to Wild Bill. Wild Bill for coin number 28. Nothing on that side. Nothing there. Looking for that Chinese character again, folks. See if we can get some more of those. Because I'd like to see another, at least 5 more of those, so that I can make a good determination as to whether or not it is a listable double die. Alright, Levels of Madness gets the next one. What does Levels of Madness get? Set the heavy die scratch diagonal up out of the 6 of the date. Nothing in front of the lips. No hub doubling on that side. Let's take a look for the reverse. Not seeing anything on the reverse. We have a number of pretty clean coins here. And levels, this coin is pretty nice. I'm going to call it with a couple of spots on the reverse and a few spots on the obverse. We're talking about a 64. This would grade 64. And coin number 30. Hello, Redneck Stacker. Robert Adams. Robert Adams gets coin number 30. What do we have on coin number 30? Another one with the heavy die scratches between the 1 and the 9 of the date. I would love for that one to be the one that has that little double die reverse, because we've seen a lot of this die. And we know that this one is a normal die. And the reverse side, just to prove it to ourselves that we did pull another normal coin. Here we go. Sound like Captain Kirk again. Another normal coin. Robert Adams. Next coin, number 31, will belong to Levels of Madness. It's your time to wake up again, brother. Let's see what you got. Okay. Not the most impressive looking obverse so far. Got a little color going on that side. You see the pinkish colors going on over there. And then flip it over and see what we got on the other side. Nothing but some color. Coin numero 32 will go to Robert Adams. Robert Adams. It's almost like the first thing I'm looking for now is that little die scratch patch in front of the mouth that looks like Chinese character to me. That's where our double die reverse is going to reside. I have in a number of rolls, original bank wrapped rolls, found coins that belong to a die for which there are only one representative of that die in the entire roll. I'm not exactly sure how that works out. It could be luck of the draw, but you're thinking roughly 7 dies used and roughly 50 coins. You're talking about a 1 in 7 chance of repeating a die. Deanne. It's your 1 in 7 chance of repeating a die, and you're opening 50 coins, so your chance is better than 1 in 1, actually, of getting a second example of each different die. Sometimes we just don't see that. Okay, this is the one with the heavy die scratch running up out of the L of Liberty. This is yet another normal coin. We've seen this die before. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. Okay, we got nothing on that coin. Who has a question for me? Does anybody have a question for me? About this roll, other rolls, any coin questions? Pick my brain while I happen to be spending time just with you guys. This is our private time to talk. Chit chat. Jeff Dunn gets coin number 34. Coin number 34 is... It's not the Chinese character one. Aha. No. So it's got multiple die cracks, but it's not the same ones I've seen before. It does not have the spiked head. Heavy die scratch between the T and the R of trust. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. It's right there. Heavy die scratch between the T and the R, and yet another one between the U and the S. This is the one that has the little die scratch coming off the 9 of the date. Yeah, 2 heavier die scratches below the 9 of the date. So we have seen this die. Jeremy Johnson. Your order has shipped. Your order has shipped. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 orders that need to ship. And I've got other ones that need to be put with the boxes for the monthly people. All right, Mr. Dunn, there's your coin number 34. Coin number 35 will go to... Oh, the wrapper goes to Mr. Dunn. There we go. A wrapper to Mr. Dunn. I'm going to put this inside the wrapper. And for anybody who has received my wrappers before, what I do is I flatten them out and put them in a sheet protector for you. Okay, levels of madness. Here is your coin. We've seen this one. It's a normal die. You've got those marks coming down off the 0 of the date. A little mark out in the field in front of the chin. Otherwise, we're looking pretty clean. Got a few little spots. A little struck through on the shoulder right there. Otherwise, overall, a very clean coin. Very nice gem. Let's see what we have on the reverse. Of course, we know that it's not going to be a double die. But do we have a very clean reverse? It appears that we do. We have a relatively clean reverse. So this coin could actually grade high. I'd go with an easy MS66 on this one. Nice, nice, nice. Coin number 35. Coin number 35, I would be easy to talk into an MS66 grade on that one. Okay, next one goes to Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride. What do we have for Mr. McBride? I'm surprised that we've only got one of those. This one's got the die scratch in front of the lips. We've seen this one before, and the big die scratch coming up out of the E of Liberty. Big die crack on the head. And there's your die scratches between the T and the R, and then the U and the S. So you can get around to where you can actually see them. There's one between the T and the R, and there's the one between the U and the S. So we've seen this die before. Again. Now let's see what we have on the reverse, if anything. Nothing specifically error associated on the reverse, so we have a very nice grade and a nice gem coin, but it's a normal 1960 Lincoln cent. All right, now Mr. McBride. Oh, wait, I got to get your number 36 in there so that I know that this was the 36th coin to come out of the roll. There we go. And coin number 37. Feels like the system is rigged. I send gems in and only get MS67 on the ones that have no value at the MS67 level. The ones that coins always come up a point short. Well, there's some realism built into that, but then there's also a point to which I will agree with you on, and that is that it seems at times anyway, that I have seen coins get downgraded a point to the less valuable grade just because that next grade up would be a really high value coin. And it is almost like it's rigged. And I can't really disagree with that because to some extent I have seen that. But you also have to imagine and know that there have been a lot of coins sent in that these people see. And, well, if you get a 66 with a population of 300 and don't get the 67 with a population of 4, there's probably a good reason for that. What am I looking for to determine the difference between 66 and 67? This one's for midnight. It's a number of little flaws that I can see that are more obvious. In this particular case, your luster is pretty high on these coins. So you've got a nice luster, you've got a nice surface appeal, but it's going to be those little marks like that right there below the Eye of Liberty. And then like this little guy out here, this hit above the 0, that are going to start taking points away from the coin. I start with a really high grade like a 70, and I start counting points, and those points all count toward reducing the grade in my mind. There's a little die chip with a die crack right above the shoulder. And then as I go through and I look at more of that coin and I see more of the surface, there's a little spot right there. And there's a little hit on the rim that you're going to be able to see. I take away little bits of points. I'll grade this coin once I get finished with this, but I'm just kind of showing you right now some of the things that I might see. There's another spot that I might see. And why I say I might see it is because I don't grade with 100,000x like this. I grade with my loop. Loop and a bright light. I look at the surface and the surface appeal. We do have spots above. We do have some spots on the reverse. The surface is nice and bright. It's relatively crisp and sharp. The overall coin is a nice gem, but I don't think I'd give it a 66 grade. Now, these guys in 67 are actually kind of valuable. 66 is not that big of a deal. 65 is rather common. And that's coin number 38. Let me take a look real quick at the price guide. I can't see you guys for the time being because I'm looking it up on my only other screen. I'll look at the price guide for the grades, and I use PCGS CoinFacts.com, PCGSCoinFacts.com, and it'll go through a little thing where it checks your browser for a minute, and then you can click on, I'm going to click on Lincoln Cent Modern Type 3 Memorial Reverse 1959 to 1982 and go to 1960 large date. 1960 large date shows me I have to click on red now. In red, the 66 is going to be roughly a $15 coin, but it's going to cost you $20 to get it graded. A 66 plus is going to be a $50-ish coin, but it's still going to cost you over $20 to get it graded. So 67 is where your money starts to show up. Your 67 is roughly a $200 coin. And then 67 plus, for NGC anyway, 67 plus is about $250, $275. And there is no 68. So 67 is the finest known. There are 275 known at PCGS and 31 known for NGC. That's in 67. Now in 66, there are 908 known for NGC. So almost 1,000 known between the two graders. And then for 67, there's only about 300 known between the two graders. 68, there are 0. So you get a 67, you got yourself a nice coin. Really nice coin. Now, do you take the chance and send it in? Well, that's kind of up to you. But on the coin 1 or 2 in here that I said could be a 67, it's there that I would suggest that could be a coin you can send in. And Jeremy, no, the dings don't count as points. They only count as a full point in prime focal areas, which is like in the fields where you're going to notice it the most. And then in places where you're not really going to notice the little tiny hits, I don't even count them. And if they're a little bit bigger and they're noticeable, like when you look at the coin from just a grading distance like this, and you look at it and you got your glasses on or you have really good eyesight, and you tilt the coin and you see the little speckles, and those little speckles are going to be the little tiny hits that the coin took. If those speckles are really noticeable, then you're going to need to take points out of your grade for it because they're going to see that. If you don't get the little speckles when you tilt the coin, but you do see at 10x, you do see some really minor little flaws in different areas that are not in the fields, I don't even count those. Don't even count them because they're not going to notice them when they grade. Literally, when they grade your coin, they're taking a 2 to 4 second look at your coin under a nice bright light with a 7x loop. They're using good optics because, well, I mean, they use really good optics to look at them. And, excuse me for a second. There we go. I was short 2 flips. And they, of course, are going to, well, they claim to grade fairly. I think they grade fairly in most cases. I don't think in all cases they grade fairly. Okay, so I've got our flip inserts finished. I'm going to go for coin number 39 now. I plan on doing some more videos on actually just grading coins because I think that's a really important, it's an important area to know. It's an important area to learn when you're going to be doing, see, we've seen this die. This is a normal die. It's got those diagonal scratches coming out of the bottom of the 0 of the date. Heavy one coming out of the B of Liberty. I think that's probably one of the most important things to learn is grading because, well, for instance, to grade a coin properly, you have to understand how they handle the marks and consistency of the different little areas that we're looking at. And the other thing is in order to use a price guide, well, you have to know how to grade because a price guide is all written out by grade. So if you don't know that you've got an MS64 red coin, you could be a 63 red or a 65 red. That could make a huge difference. Huge difference in value. This is Vicky Cardwell. And for Vicky Cardwell, I'm seeing a normal coin. I think all of these are normal except for that one that I can't seem to duplicate, that die that appeared to have a double die reverse. And for some odd reason, I have not yet found another coin from that die in this roll, but I will be going through these coins again just to be sure. Because I do occasionally miss things when I'm looking live. I usually always, when I go through a roll of coins and nobody's watching me, I'll get to a point where I find something in the roll, and I've already been through 10, 12 coins. It's Vicky Cardwell again. I will actually stop at that moment and grab all the coins that I have quote unquote already seen and go through them again. And I'd say probably 20-30% of the time I find another example of what I just discovered in the roll in the coins I've already discarded, because I do miss things on occasion. But especially with the coins that are going to other people like these, I definitely check everything more than once. Okay, Tennessee Copperhead, you do know that the machine doubling is not going to help with the value of the coin. So machine doubling is just going to be machine doubling. But it's also not going to detract from the grade of the coin. If it's a 65, it's a 65, whether it's got machine doubling or not. And an MS-65 1961 D Lincoln Cent is pretty much a dollar item. An MS-66 is going to be a $10 to $15 item, and MS-67 is going to be a hot, expensive coin. Huge hot. It's like $400, $500, $600. 67s are going to be very, very rare, though, on a 1961D. Hey, we've seen this die before. I'm just checking it again. This is the one that has the heavy die scratches between the 1 and 9 of the date. This is a very repeatable die for this particular roll. Why some dies repeat a lot more than others in particular rolls is all about how the coins landed in the hopper, how they got mixed together into the big sorting bin for counting. Has nothing to do with how many coins were minted, has nothing to do with anything else other than just how they happened to land in the bins. All right, let's see. Levels of madness. Coin grading is a little on the opinion side because the eye appeal part of it is basically kind of the point on the exclamation, and that's really what's going to take or give to your grade. You've got a MS-66 coin by technical grade, and you pull it away and you look at the luster on the coin, and it's just, oh my God, beautiful. You're going to end up with a 67 on the coin, even though by technical standard, you got a 66 coin. It'll go 67 because of the luster alone. This one's going to be Robert Adams. Robert Adams. What do we see on this one? Okay, this is the one that I think, this is the one that has the old die scratches going south out of the G of God and behind the head and down to the Y of Liberty. And I think there's a heavy die scratch right there. I don't think I've ever noticed that. You may or may not even have seen this die, but there's a heavy die scratch behind the shoulder right there on the obverse. Let's see. Impossible to score a good deal on a coin if you can't grade because you don't know what you're getting. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I would just say it's very highly unlikely that you're going to know what you're doing when you do get a good deal because you don't know what you're doing. If you do know what you're doing, you're going to see that the coin's undergraded and underpriced and you're going to buy it. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to know whether or not you're getting a coin that's undergraded and underpriced. And some people do get lucky. Some people end up with a like 1943 D Lincoln Cent. I've seen some at times that people have bought that were absolute beautiful gem 66 coins they paid $2 or $3 for. So, and they didn't know that. They figured it was a choice BU coin, no problem. Deanne gets the next coin, number 44. Let's see. Kennedy $half that's missing the second T on trust completely. Well, let's see. The second T on trust is right next to the rim on the right side of the coin. It could be a strike issue. It could be that was a struck through. It's that thing below the N of in. I call that a die dot. That's actually a raised little pimple on the surface of the coin. It's a pit in the die And those show up repeatedly, so they can be used as a marker. So these do, if I find another one from the same die in this roll, you're going to see that same little pimple mark. Die scratches on Liberty. I don't see my Chinese character out in front of the mouth, so we are not expecting a double die reverse, although we could actually see one. Who knows? And we don't. This is a normal coin. Now, what I want to do, after I get finished with this, I'm going to pull that suspected double die back out, and I'm going to put it next to a normal coin. And I'm going to show you what I see. That way you'll know what you're looking for. Paula, very likely not. It would be worth having someone look at it if they'll do it for free and give you a good professional opinion. But it probably is not a coin that I would just say, I'm going to get this graded, especially because of the missing T. The missing T is going to be nothing to a grading service. They're not going to mark it as an error or anything else. They might mark it as a struck-through error if you note it as an error on the submission form and pay the extra money to have the error, which I think is ridiculous, but to pay the extra money to have the error noted on the holder, they might do that. But see, there's some coins, like for Lincoln Cents, like these 1960 plain Lincoln Cents. I have found a few struck-throughs in here. And none of the companies would note that they are struck through just because. But if you found a Silver Eagle, a brand new Silver Eagle and a brand new roll of Silver Eagles with the same size mark on them, you can get those graded as an error. And you tell me that's fair. Okay, we've seen this die before. This is our most common die in the roll. It's got the 1 and 9 die scratches. Sometimes when I'm going through the rolls, as I'm remembering my markers for the different dies, I actually give them a name. So this will be my scratched up 19. So I'll call that the scratched up 19. That way I'll know the next time I hit that die and I get another scratched up 19, I'll know what I'm looking at. Wow, look at the size of that hit. So scratched up 19. And this is coin number 46 in the roll. Goes to Joe McBride. One of the last things I like to do is tell someone their coin isn't worth anything, or that their coin is not a gradable coin. That's one of the last things I like to do, but I think it's one of my first responsibilities. Because so many people will just jump off the cuff and send in a 10-cent coin and spend $25 to find out they shouldn't have sent that coin in to begin with. They get it back in a holder that they spent $25 on, that they're not even going to get $5 back out of. And they lose money on their lesson. And wow, what is that? That's some weird stuff. It looks almost like glue. That is weird. I'll have to give a good close look at that one under the microscope and see what that is. It does show up on the coin, though. I can see it from here. It looks like a carbon spot, which is what it could be. That's too bad, because the obverse on this coin was beautiful. That does happen sometimes. You get a roll of coins and you start going through it and you look at the obverses and you pull out all the obverses that you think could grade and grade really high. Then you flip them over. You can immediately eliminate 3/4 of them. Coin number 48, Jeff Dunn. Mr. Dunn, what do you have? Well, it's a 1960 or 1960 Philadelphia, sorry. Lincoln Cent. Trying to be cute, and I said it wrong. Let's see here. Oh, there's our old die scratches coming out of the bottom of the G, wrapping around the back of the head and into the Y of Liberty. Our play-by-play brought to you by Borax. Do never clean coins with borax. It's got pretty colors on it. Look at that. There's a flashy little colors. It's a nicely toned coin. I wish that had been on the obverse instead of the reverse. It would have doubled its value. And we got some spottiness on the reverse. That could have been wax. I'm not really sure. I really don't know. I'll have to take a better look at the coin later. Well, Mr. Dunn, you got yourself a nice colorful reverse on an otherwise normal 1960 Lincoln cent. Coin Q&A Thursday will be tonight. The Coin Q&A Thursday will be on Ken Peavy's channel. Wild Bill gets the next one. What do we have for Wild Bill? It appears as though I may have flipped around. I don't even know what that is. Somebody tell me what color that is. I can't see it. I don't see color well. Hello, Hector. Somebody tell me what color all this fuzz is so I can tell you what it is. Usually what I'll do when I need to know the color of something, I'll take a photograph of it and I'll put it in Photoshop and do a pixel selection. And by reading the hexadecimal numbers that come up, I can tell you what color it is. So it's whitish gray. Wow. That's strange. It has to have something to do with the roller wrapper of some form or fashion. I'm not really sure. I mean, most of these coins came out totally clean, and then some of them come out with that ich on them. I'm not sure what the ich is. We've seen this die. Remember that? Scratch going up from the E almost all the way to the base of the building. I think I'm going to go to auctioneer school. Is it too late to change your career at 51 years old? Yeah, the problem is you don't have zinc rot on a 1960 cent. There's no, well, there is zinc in it, but not. That does look like zinc oxide, though. It really does. Okay, this is the final coin in the roll. This is coin number 50, and it belongs to Vicky. And we've seen this die. It is a normal die. So for that double die, which I found, going through the beginning stages of the roll, what was that, coin number 3? I found one coin and none others, which that's just mind-boggling, but normal kind of stuff is to be expected. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Vicky's roll ender coin away here. Oop, get it flipped around the right direction. Get Vicky's name put in there with the coin, and then I'm going to fold it over, and I am going to pick from the 50 coins or 49 coins that I have here, one other coin which belongs to Midnight Silver Run. That would be this one, coin number 4 right here. I'm going to take it out of the holder. And the reason I'm doing Midnights is because I want to use his coins to educate people and not give anyone the idea that I might have picked these not at random. So I want it to be totally at random, so you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this one was the quote-unquote normal coin. I want you to look at the thickness of the FG. The FG looks pretty much normal. You can see that there is a single thickness going on there. Now I'm going to move it over to this coin. Look at the thickness of the FG. It is a little thicker. It does have a little bit of thickness to it. Let's look again at that FG. Let me zoom in so we get a really close peek at it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this one and show you this FG. You do have a little bit of die wear going on, which kind of blurs things a little bit. Probably not the best coin to use as an example, but if you look at the F right there, you can see that the F is as wide tall as it is wide across, meaning that it looks like you drew it with a single pencil line, F, right? F. Okay? And then the G is just a little bit obliterated. Now, I'm going to tell you guys when to close your eyes. I want you to remember this picture and close your eyes. Close your eyes now after you remember this picture. I'll give you another second. Okay. Now, open your eyes. Do you see the difference? You have a much thicker FG going on over here than you did on the other side. Hello, Mr. Betts. Now let's take a look at, for instance, the other thing that I noticed on here, which was the N in 1. Let me zoom it back out and make it easier to do. So once we're zoomed out, now find a good angle. Now that's a good angle right there. Look at the left stick of the N of 1. That's the bottom left-hand corner next to the O. Okay. Now, look at that N, and now look at that N. You can see how this one just has a single sharp serif. It drops right off toward the rim. One single point sticking out right there that drops off toward the rim. Now let's go back to the other one again and get a good look at that. Know what you're looking at. You're looking at the bottom left-hand corner of the N next to the O. Now I'm going to move it. Look at this one again. See how in that lighting you can see 2 little points right there instead of 1 point? It's a double die, folks. Unfortunately, going through the first time through, this is the only one I found, which is odd, but not completely abnormal. There are times where you're only going to find one example of a given die in a roll. And sometimes it's going to be a really valuable one that you only find one in the roll. But that, folks, is what I found for you. In fact, Midnight got coin number 3 and coin number 4 in this roll. And because I found this die so early in the roll, it's kind of unlikely that I'm going to find another example of this same die. But I am going to go back through them and look again. So that's it for this one. Here's our wrapper again. The Hanover Bank, 50 pennies. The Hanover Bank. And it does say pennies on the wrapper. So people start telling me, oh, they're not pennies, they're cents. A penny is a 1/12 of a shilling. No, because to all of the banks in the United States and to the United States Mint, they're pennies. They might say cent on the coin, but they're still pennies. This is why in 2009, in the bicentennial issue of the Lincoln Cent that had the 4 different reverse designs, the catalog tag numbers for the 4 different designs were 2009 LP1, LP2, LP3, and LP4. LP meant Lincoln Penny. So if the catalog numbers have the word penny on them, I'm going to go with that as what we call the coins. Mr. Betts, I don't know about your coins specifically. However, I can tell you that there are a number of very clean coins in this roll. There are a number of them that I would grade as 66 and one that has a shot at 67. There are a lot of gems in here, a lot of 65 gems. There are a few coins that have some marks and other, I don't know, gunky abrasion type stuff on them, but not very many of those. Unfortunately, out of this roll so far, I've only found one coin that appears to be a die variety, and that's this one right here, which was Midnight Silver Runs, and it appeared to be a double die reverse. And that's what I was going through when you first came into the feed. I was going through how to tell that that was a double die reverse. I'm sorry, Hector said something about 62. Not even at 62. That would probably mean the grade on one of the coins. Probably so. Especially the ones that had that gray stuff on them. Yeah, they're kind of tossers. Oop, who's calling me? I have no idea who's calling me. I'll have to call them back. Okay, folks, that is pretty much the end of things for this particular feed. I do have another show coming up at 5 p.m. and then we have the numismatic Q&A coming up. It's a coin Q&A live coming up at 8:30 Eastern Time. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Ken Peavy's channel. I will be one of the panelists in that. If you have a coin that you want to ask questions about, take good photos of the obverse and reverse of the coin, plus any other photos that would help us diagnose what's going on, and send them to checkmycoin@yahoo.com. That's checkmycoin@yahoo.com. And we will be able to get to most of them tonight, take a look at them, and let you know what we think about your coin live on the air. So there you go. I appreciate it, folks. Thanks a lot for coming by. We've had a 1 hour and 45-minute fun session with a roll of 1960 plain Lincoln cents, and we will be doing 1960D at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern Time, folks. Come on back.